Hey internet! So about a year ago, Hank Green from the Vlogbrothers made a video talking about 15 of his favourite feelings. Now I know I am super duper far behind in responding to this video and making my own, but I did only start vlogging like a month and a half ago. So I think it's pretty warranted that I should be doing this video now in 2016. So here are 15 of my own favourite feelings, and thank you to Hank Green for making the initial video because I really damn well liked it. So number one for me is kind of massive. It's when you find like a book or a film or a band or even just a song. I don't know how to describe this. It's when something just sets you off like creatively. I always find that happens more with films and books these days rather than music. For me, listening to music is great, but seeing what other people in my own respective creative fields do is so friggin' cool. The next thing that gets me super pumped and makes me really happy to be alive and is like my favourite feeling is seeing your friends succeed at things and sometimes fail at things in order to benefit themselves as an individual. A lot of my friends have gone on to be promoted in our current workplaces or have gone on to drop out of university, and I am one of them. I've dropped out of 2 different courses. For the most part, I love watching my friends get jobs. I love watching my friends get nationally certified to be phlebotomists. What? Like, seeing people that I, really deeply care about and support do the things that they want to do or discover what they want to do is so awesome. Yeah, I love that feeling. In saying that, I also love seeing people grow as individuals. Recently, one of my younger brothers did an amazing thing on a social media platform, and I didn't get it because I didn't understand the cultural references, and I showed my partner and he was like, "That is damn cool," and I was like, huh, he's really intelligent. He is a creative individual. That's really nice to see someone growing as an individual, and I haven't had that before because I've never been associated with people who are 8 years younger than me up until I was 8 when my brother was born. The next thing that I am sort of saying preemptively, but I have in the past experienced it and I'm sure in future I will experience it, is hugging your favourite human being. For those of you who don't know my current situation, I'm dating someone who lives very far away from me, so I don't get an opportunity to hug him ever. I'm looking forward to that feeling coming on very hopefully kinda soon. The next thing is something I've personally experienced and kind of sometimes detest, but for the most part I really enjoy. It's when you spend so long in a hot bath that when you get out you're like, I'm so tired. It is so satisfying. Like, I sleep like a hibernating bear when that happens. It is the best feeling in the whole wide world. It's almost as good as the next feeling, which is taking your socks off in bed after you've had them on for about 15 minutes when your feet are all warm and toasty. It's just, oh, so good. Friends who support you as much as you support them, like I previously said. I'm so fortunate to have these people, and I'm even more fortunate to have someone who I can collaborate with creatively as well. It's just really nice to be in a social group or a social environment where people support you creatively and independently as well. The next thing is when you go for something and you actually succeed. Like recently I applied for an intern position with the World Literacy Foundation as a social media manager basically, and I got the job. Like, what? When you make an effort and people like what you do and say, yeah, we want you on board with this project, it's like, I highly recommend it. Go for jobs that make you super excited to like be alive because it's so worth it. Oh my god. Sometimes though, to just completely contradict that last statement, it is even better when things don't work out. My best example of this is a relationship that did not last with someone, and you know what? Those 2-ish years of being single were the best because I grew as an independent individual. I learnt how to overcome really awful anxiety. I learnt the ways in which I actually prefer to spend my time. And I guess following on from that is learning to be independent and driven and self-motivated. This has kind of always been an integral thing for me, and to be honest, when I was studying a course that I didn't adore, I kind of lost that drive. I'm not saying that I'm at the pinnacle of where I want to be right now. There are so many things that I want to do, but they feel so much more likely to happen and so much more realistic in terms of an opportunity in the future. That kind of stems to my next point of realizing what you're passionate about, because I think that is so important, and it can be so hard to find out what you're passionate about. Oh my god, it took me like forever. I think inside I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I also kind of was like, I can't just do that, that's impossible. And then I just started doing it, and you know what? It worked out for me so far. When you realize what you're passionate about, it is the best feeling. It's like this little sense of satisfaction because you're suddenly like, there, this makes me happy. This is fun. This is something I could potentially do. Completely irrelevant at this point, but having the perfect cup of tea just makes you feel better about the world. Too many times I have been burned by my own tea. You know the feeling, like when you drink a hot drink too fast and it burns your tongue and you're just like, for the rest of the day. That's the technical definition, I'm sure of it. When you pick up your tea and you're like, oh god, and there's this terrible feeling of trepidation when you go to sip it, but it's fine because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just so friggin' good. Another thing I adore and find such a good feeling is spontaneously hanging out with people who mean the world to you. One of my closest friends moved to the next town away from me, and I was like, how am I going to go visit at 9 p.m. after work on a Sunday night now? The answer is no one, because you should go to bed after you finish work at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. He shot me a message at like midday and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. And then he was like, you should come over. And I was like, I will. She's out. Hey. And it was great. We watched BuzzFeed videos and talked about politics. I highly advise it, especially if you are anxious like me most of the time and you prefer one-on-one hangouts. Spontaneous hangouts are amazing. Nothing else is as satisfying to me as being recognised for your abilities. I get recognised, especially in my current workplace, not my internship, my other job at a supermarket, for being the creative person. I've done commissions through my workplace. I've, you know, got to design logos and business cards, and I got to paint one kid's face like a blue-tongued lizard. Being the creative type and being recognised for that is sometimes the best, because you'll end up doing things you didn't even think you could do. So my last favourite feeling is that feeling when someone you really, really adore, or who is your favourite human being in the whole wide world, tells you that they too adore you, or they admire you for what you do, or who you are as an individual, or just anything. It is so damn lovely. I've had this a couple times now, people that I really adore in terms of their personalities, like one of my close friends who is just sweetest, kindest girl. The other is from my favourite human being, who I just think is so brilliant and switched on and so talented. You're so talented. Those are 15 of my favourite feelings that I have inarticulately and very gesturally told you about. In future, I'm almost positive that I will not be recording at a time where you can hear the entire household in full swing. I'll see you very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. My neighbour is hitting birds right now. He's whacking the trees and literally getting them to stop going.